The Arkansas Council is the best kept secret in the state of Arkansas, and we can't afford to keep it a secret any longer. If every child in the state of Arkansas, kindergarten through 12th grade, started receiving an economic education today, what would the state look like? What would the profile of our state look like in 15 years, 20 years? We'd have more high school graduates, we'd have fewer high school dropouts, we'd have more kids making that choice to pursue a higher education, and we could literally break the chain of poverty in this state.
Bessie Moore knew everybody who was anybody in the state of Arkansas. She was a close friend of Wilbur Mills, and she knew Senator Fulbright very well. She knew everybody, the business people in the state. And she had been to a program in economic education. It was just getting started at the national level in Connecticut. And she came back to Arkansas and said, we need that program in Arkansas.
Bessie Moore had a vision for Arkansas. She loved kids, and she thought economic education is what's going to take Arkansas into the future. And she truly, truly believed in what she did. And I think that's why her heritage is so important. And I think that's why people that work at the Arkansas Council have the feeling they do. They do it because it's a love for what they do.
I get a great deal of personal satisfaction from teaching my students. Let me give you an example. I had done an economic unit on comparative shopping, and this happened to be at the school where I was teaching low socioeconomic students. And the conclusion of that unit, I took the students to the mall. And my wife met me, and she works for the Cooperative Extension Service and does a lot of things on comparative shopping. And she went with the students and told them things to look for in quality and so forth. And brand name's not always best. The lower price is not always best, but what to look for your best buy, the best use of your resource. When we got finished with that field trip, one of my students came up to me and told me, I've never been to the mall. You changed my life.
Probably one of the most touching is a little girl who was 16. And she had been with us starting at 16, and this year was her last year with us. And this little girl worked, and she didn't work for car money or clothes money or spending money. She worked to pay bills. She helped her mother, who lived with her boyfriend who didn't work at all, support the family. And she was a little bitter and resentful when I first started working with her about all the responsibilities that she had and had missed out a lot of her childhood. But after the economic project, she began to put pieces together again, and it's like, you know, I realize I'm investing in my human capital. When I get out of high school, I know how to work. I've been working since I'm 16. I know how to budget. I know how to stretch a dollar. I know how to make wise investments and good choices. She said, I don't resent it anymore. She said, I feel like I'll have a head start. And she said, and someday, you know, I'm going to have a better family than I had. And so it really changed her life. So I think that's all economic education. Understanding how resources are allocated, understanding how to access the American dream, understanding how to manage your resources. And this is what changes the lives of kids. It's not just pre and post test scores. It's real change in real kids' lives that I think if we don't forget what our mission is, it still has to do with that.
Economics affects everything we do. Everything we do. And it's a part of our day-to-day lives in decision-making.
One economist said economics is the science of decision-making. And it teaches us the fact that we have limited means to satisfy these huge wants we have, and so we have to make choices, we have to make decisions. And the economic way of thinking is what we'd really like to teach, and that is an approach to decision-making, to choice, that enables us to make better choices.
They need to know that there is nothing in this world that's free, and everything has a cost. And the sooner that a child learns that everything has a cost, the better off that child is going to be and his family is going to be.
If you start off with kindergarten and you teach them just the very simple basic concepts like what is scarcity, and then you build on that through the primary grades and then the intermediate grades, and then junior high you go to some more advanced levels, and then senior high you get into the really macro and economics.
I knew that you should start in saving, but I did not know as much about it, like supply and demand and profit and export and import, things like that. I didn't know as much as about that, and now we're studying that, and this year we're supposed to start using credit cards, so we're going to learn about that.
Choices, scarcity, wants, goods, the main stuff.
Well, basically economics is about choices, and so we learn to make good choices by saving our money.
I'm learning to make good choices.
Coach Woodruff kind of brought along economics in an interesting way. We were at practice one day, and he just sat us down and gave us a test in the dugout over all kinds of just questions and asking about opportunity costs and surpluses and supply and demands, and we really had no clue what it was going to be used for.
They had never had economics before, didn't really know much about economics, and it all started back when the players wanted to buy new uniforms, and that was not in our budget, and so right then they learned the first national economic standard, and that is unlimited wants but limited resources.
I've always been sold on the council, and a lot of years of experience with the council, so I know it works firsthand. It's not something that somebody told me about, it's something that I experienced for myself.
I was so frightened the first day because I thought, I have no idea what they're talking about. I have got myself into a real jam, but I soon learned how easy it was to use things in my classroom that I already did and incorporate the economics. And the staff was so helpful and friendly that it was that 10 days that has opened to me 10 years of economic education that I've been able to incorporate.
The council makes it very easy for us to integrate this into our curriculum from K-12. Gives us ideas, lesson plans, activities that can be used very easily in our classroom.
I think that this needs to be part of our statewide curriculum, and I think that our students do need to be educated on the issues of credit, on the issues of investments, on overall financial information that could help them later on in their lives.
Every teacher needs to be in this class. I'm ready to go back and teach and share this information with my students, and it's wonderful. I love it.
The council's work is augmented by college centers for economic education. We have one in Fayetteville that I have directed. We have one at Arkansas State, one at Henderson, one at Southern Arkansas, and one at Monticello, U of A Monticello, and most recently one at University of Arkansas Little Rock.
The Arkansas Bankers Association was involved with the formation of the Arkansas Council on Economic Education in 1962. We have been big supporters and contributors toward that cause over these past years and have been very supportive of it. We realize in business and in banking that today's students are tomorrow's leaders, and that it's so important that they get a good background in economic education.
The more comprehension and understanding that young people have of our free enterprise society and how it works, the business will be the benefactor of it.
As an organization, we have to lift ourselves up to the public and to say, this is what this organization does for kids. This is the impact that we've had, and we're not looking for accolades for individuals. We're looking for support from the communities and from the state as an organization, and to educate you as to what this organization does.
The Arkansas Council is one of the stars in our lineup. Through the legacy from Bessie Moore on to the present, they have really been a model of delivering effectively outstanding economic education and tools for the teachers and materials and resources that get to the students in the schools of Arkansas.
We have 20 kids every year in our classroom. You know, we're going to educate a new generation, hopefully. I think we need economic education to be mandatory.
I like working with these kids. I love seeing that light come on. And I believe we have the best system in the world, and I want to keep it that way. And they're my hope.
The Arkansas Council on Economic Education has so many supporters with so much passion for our cause that it's just personally rewarding to know we've got business people, we've got teachers, we've got superintendents, we've got university directors who are our partners, and this passion, you can't stop it. We're going to change the future of our young people, and we're going to change the state of Arkansas through economic education.